Hi there, welcome to the Noah Presgrove case. I've got some breaking news to share with you and it's not good. Unfortunately, once again, one of my videos on the case has been taken down unexpectedly. The difference is this time I wasn't given a warning or a heads up. There was no mention of any legal issues or any reports made, just out of the blue, email from YouTube due to guidelines being broken, video has been removed. I'll show you some screenshots in a second in regard to which video it was and the example or detail for why it was removed. But what I will say very clearly, guidelines were not broken based on the context. And the context was a person consented and was perfectly okay in revealing a specific feature on Facebook, which was publicly viewable, simple as. So no guidelines broken there when consent was given. But I do find it typical because there are many other people out there that will do a lot and YouTube does nothing to them. And yet someone like me, always screwed over. But besides that, I just want to give that heads up now that in regard to who could have reported it or why, part of me thinks it's just YouTube and its guideline system. Maybe it's automatic because it does give me the option to make an appeal. I will try and do that, fingers crossed, and explain my side of the story and where things are at. Maybe some people might be thinking it could be a person within the case. It could be someone that doesn't like me. Who knows? I don't want to jump to conclusions at this moment in time. So just as a heads up, disclaimer, I know people will be frustrated, but it's best not to lash out on anyone just in case if there's any misunderstandings. Just got to put up with it. And yeah, let me just show you the screenshot right now. The first screenshot, what you're seeing is the email that I got from YouTube. I tried fitting it all on screen as best as I could, highlighting the important parts. It says YouTube removed your content, and it is an official email in case you're wondering. The only difference is this time round, whilst the video has been taken down, I do have the option to appeal. Unlike those 3 other videos previously that were taken down, I could not appeal them. But that was because they were reported beforehand. So I guess there might be a difference here with how it was done. But it says, "Hi Warlike, it looks like title of the video. Now, this is a shocking lie. The truth behind Alicia Lee's call the day of Noah Presgrove's death. That video did not follow our community guidelines. We removed it from YouTube." Now take in mind, I've done videos in the past of all kinds of stuff and I've never had this, this specific issue before. Sometimes it makes me wonder if the YouTube guidelines are really that consistent or not, and that they may turn a blind eye towards many of the people out there that do genuinely break guidelines on purpose. Now there is that option to review and take action, which I'll try and do when I've got time or when I'm in the mood, to do that. Probably try it tomorrow. It says, "What we found, we think," so it's YouTube themselves, their opinion, think that content violated our policy on personally identifiable information. And it gives examples. Content that shares, threatens to share, or encourages others to share non-public, personally identifiable information isn't allowed on YouTube. This may include an individual's home address. I did not. An email address. I did not. Sign-in credentials. I did not. Phone number. Technically, yes. And there'll be context behind that. Passport, medical records, bank account information. None of that. You can see an example at around the 15-minute mark, 30 seconds, although there could be other instances. And after checking it through, there are no other instances where it breaks any issues, unless it's repeated as in the example which was earlier in the video. How this impacts your video, we've removed the content from YouTube, meaning no one can see it anymore. And I think I have lost statistics as well from that video, which will just be like, viewers, numbers, just like that stuff. It's unfortunate. What to do next? Review your content and the policy. After your review, you can ask us to take another look if you think that we got it wrong. And I would argue and say that they did get it wrong. The example, as you see there, it gives like the video playback, because it's the only way I can actually view my video, because it's been taken down since. It's to do with harassment and cyberbullying, which doesn't sound too good, of course. Content that shares, and it just gives you examples there, same as beforehand. Read the policy, what's the point? Because even when you follow the policy and follow guidelines, it's never good enough. But that's the example, 15 minutes into my video. Now, on this particular image, I do have it blurred out, and that's just so I can upload this video, because knowing my luck, if I tried uploading it in its original format, original screenshot, YouTube will probably take this video down as well, flagging it as like the last one. So for context, basically, that's from my video, paused, and then on screen is on the left. It was a side-by-side comparison what I did, where I was showing Alicia's call log, which had all phone numbers of other people blurred out for people's privacy and respect. And the only phone number which was completely viewable was that of JJ Bumpers. And JJ Bumpers publicly left his phone number on a publicly viewable Facebook page. And JJ was okay with that. He said it himself. He's not bothered. If anyone wants to reach out to him, there's his phone number. And Alicia's call log shows JJ's phone number. So consent was given by the original person, JJ. YouTube's identified this as breaking guidelines, harassment and cyberbullying and threatening people. No, because the person behind it all welcomed it and was okay with it being public and shared. So there's no issues here, there's no guidelines broken. That's why I'll have to try and make an appeal. But is there any shape or format where a person in the background could have reported me or tried to, or have previously? Who knows? Besides that, the only other little thing that was shown within the video was to do with Alicia Lee's mother-in-law phone number, but not the full phone number, just the final 4 digits. And, if majority of the phone number isn't shown, only the last few digits, you're not going to know the person's phone number. You're not going to be able to call them. No one else is. So it's not threatening anyone, right? So you blur most, if not all of it out and just show the final digits. That's the whole purpose behind it all, to respect people's privacy and everything else. The only reason why JJ's was unblurred in the second photo or of this video that was done is because JJ publicly shared his phone number in the first place. So there's nothing to hide. JJ is okay with that. And look, this is the thing. Yeah, you could blur out the whole phone number. You could blur out the whole anything. But then how are you supposed to make a video? If everything's blurred and censored and I say, here's photo A, it's similar to photo B, as you can tell. How can you? It's blurred out with boxes and everything. You can't see the numbers, you can't see the details, you can't see anything. So how are you supposed to do anything then if you can't show anything? I don't get it. So it's a bit dumb. Now, it is unfortunate that this particular video has been targeted by YouTube, by anyone else, because it's really important. And for those that may have not seen it or forgotten about it, I'll just reiterate it, summarize at least as what it was about and why it's important. It just basically showed that Alicia was straight up lying. When asked to Alicia, who did you call on the day of Noah's death at a certain time or so, with an example given of 10:59, Alicia had said, oh, it was my mother-in-law, Dorothy, who I contacted. And then when looking at Alicia's own call log, which she sent out to someone in the first place, so she should know because it would have shown the numbers to begin with. When taking a look at it, it showed JJ Bumpers' phone number. When you compare the phone numbers with Dorothy, final 4 digits, to JJ Bumpers, the actual call log matches with JJ's phone number, not Dorothy's phone number. So Alicia lied. So why would Alicia lie? And why did Alicia call JJ Bumpers on the day of Noah's death at 10:59 in the morning? because supposedly on that same day, from what JJ says, he was with Caden hanging out at a lake. I think it's like near Duncan or so, or up that way, north. So maybe Caden getting away from it all to try and cool off, distraction, release emotion, hang out with a friend, a familiar face, that's understandable. As for Alicia calling JJ, maybe just to check in on Caden, how's he doing? Is he still there with you? Are you nearly done? How long are you going to be? Maybe Caden didn't want to answer his phone or had it turned off so Alicia couldn't contact Caden. So Alicia thought she would contact JJ just to check in on Caden, to check in if he's there with JJ and whatnot. So yeah, could be an innocent event, could be an innocent call. But to lie, straight up lie about who you actually called is weird and dodgy. And for Caden to say previously, oh, well, me and JJ hung out the day after Noah's death. And JJ says, no, it was on the day of Noah's death. Discrepancies. That doesn't look good either. Funny how all these simple events and these simple encounters and interactions turn out to be very complex, complicated, and dysfunctional. It doesn't need to be that way, but people choose and make it that way. So it kind of digs themselves into a bit of a hole. It adds focus and eyes onto those areas and creates suspicion. Even if there isn't a need to be, it just creates something to look at. So those people that create the problems can't be complaining afterwards, because it could have been cleared up immediately, but it wasn't. And where we are now, video taken down, it doesn't look good on the surface level, but as I said, as a disclaimer, don't go out attacking anyone just in case YouTube are solely to blame for this, okay? Because I've at least got the chance to make an appeal and might be able to get the video back up. And if I don't, well then we know YouTube is dodgy. Because let's be honest, from what I've been on the receiving end of, as you will know by the odd channel out there, deepfake AI videos using photos of me, my face, in an insulting way without my consent whatsoever and without disclosing AI being used in the videos, going against YouTube policy and guidelines, multiple being broken in one go. Not any action, no action whatsoever taken on them, on those videos, all still up, community post, all still up. And then here's me, simple me, keeping my head down, not got much, just do my own thing, and then I get all the punishment. That is so typical in life. Whilst everybody else in life can be so reckless, and in any area can be so reckless, can have so much, can do so much, whatever, without consequence, it always falls on little me. Typical. I'm not surprised though. I should be used to it by now in life. But just wanted to spread the awareness in case anyone wondered why one of my videos was taken down or disappeared. Just so you know, I'm not taking them down. I don't have that choice or option. I don't want to take them down. I want them up. I don't want to be hiding videos or removing them like that. But things are out of my control. YouTube's been a bit naughty. So leave it there for now. See what happens next. See what I can do next and what I'm able to do without getting punished unjustly. And yeah, so thanks for watching. Goodbye for now.